Hey guys, welcome to another Damilola Forex Academy teaching. In today's teaching, I'm going to be exposing the perfect entry strategy that is going to 10x your trading results. Okay, so what does this entry strategy do for us? On the exact same trade, for traders without this entry strategy, they could be making about 1:2 risk to reward. And we on that same trade, we can be making about 1:4, 1:5 risk to reward on that same exact trade. And mind you, we are risking the same exact amount and exiting at the same place with our stop loss at the same place. Okay. But however, we with more knowledge, okay, we are able to maximize that particular trade and we're able to make more on the exact same trade with other traders while we are risking the exact same amount, okay, and without adding more positions. Okay, so how do we come about that? This is because what we have a secret, okay, and that is what I'm going to share in this teaching that you can be able to apply and is going to allow you to have a better entry strategy. Okay, before we go on to that, I'm going to briefly talk about my mentorship program. Okay, it's important to note that I have a mentorship program where during the mentorship program, I share every aspect of price action trading. For those of you that have been following me, you know that we operate using an organized price action trading system, right? Okay, so in my price action trading course and live mentorship program, I'm going to be teaching you every aspect from technicals to all our entries, variations, to the use of Fibonacci, all our Fibonacci secrets, every single thing down to trade management, risk management, psychology. Okay, so all of these things I'm going to be teaching is going to be a complete package. So link is in the description below for you to subscribe and join the yearly mentorship program. Okay, so back to our teaching. What are we going to do when it comes to, this entry strategy? It's important to note before we go ahead that we trade using an organized price action trading system. And what defines our trades and what defines our entry is that we must see a break of structure. It's important to note that chart structures are the skeletal framework of price action trading. Okay, that is what, if you want to be a good price action trader, you need to know how to trade using chart structures. Okay, and how are we now able to apply this knowledge of chart structures and this knowledge of break of structures to our advantage for sniper entries or the most perfect entry? For example, if we see prices make bearish structures like this, okay, and a break of structure eventually happens, we all know that a break of structure offers us our entry opportunity. Because what does a break of structure tell us? It tells us that instead of the original bearish structures of lower highs and lower lows that price is on, right now price has broken the last lower high and right now prices is on higher highs. This means that right now price is on clear bullish structures. Okay, so for every single trader knows that what, okay, after a break of structure, you are meant to place your entry like this, you are meant to place your stop loss like this, and if the opportunity is in the direction of trend, just buy to the highest points of the broken structure circle. However, we as knowledgeable traders, we have made research, okay, and this research came from about 2 years of studying this particular entry system in the market, applying it and seeing results. We have now found out that that after a break of structure, prices usually does not head directly to take profit. Instead, what does prices do? Prices comes back. Okay, it comes back to grab an higher low at the 61.8 Fibonacci level, somewhere around there. So to come back, grab an higher low, and it is at this 61.8 level that we would now strike in our entry. This means that what? After the break of structure, we will allow all of the traders, that are not as skilled as us to tap into their entry. However, we apply a little more patience and allow prices to come back for what is known as a discount, right? So while others are buying at premium at the top right here, others are buying at premium, what are we doing? We are buying at discounts at this level. Okay, this level is the 61.8 where prices comes to grab an higher low. Okay, so when prices comes back here, we will now tap into our entry and buy to the top. So when others who bought at premium are getting about 1 to 3 or 1 to 1 or 1 to 2 depending on the risk to reward, we can be able to tap in as much as 1 to 6, 1 to 7, okay, just by buying at a discount. Okay, so that is very important, and this is a very big secret that I'm sharing with all my YouTube community. So the same way it applies when there's a break of a bearish structure is the same way it applies when there is a break of a bullish structure. Okay, so in this case, this is the bullish structure. And when the break of structure happens, everyone knows that, okay, you are supposed to place your sell trade, you are supposed to place your stop loss at a high, okay, and what? And if you are selling, if it's in the direction of trend, this is your take profit, okay? That's the lowest point of the broken structure circle. However, for we with more knowledge, we know that selling pinpoint is selling at premium, okay? So what are we going to do? We are now going to apply more patience, allow every other trader to sell at premium, but we are now going to wait and allow the market to come back to 61.8, okay? Prices always does that. Okay, about 90% of the times we see prices do this, it comes back and gives us that discount. So now we will now sell at this point here, we'll sell at the discount level. Stop loss is at the same level right here, but we will now have a larger risk to reward, you know, to this point. Imagine selling at this point and closing at this point. It's a larger risk to reward. Okay, so this is how we are able to apply our perfect entry strategy, and we are able to use this perfect entry strategy to maximize our wins in the Forex market. Okay, so now we are now going to be going on to the real life chart to apply this perfect entry strategy for a real-time trade entry opportunity. Okay, so now let's go on to the real life chart and take gold for our example. Obviously, you all know that even with the fact that we will eventually go onto our entry time frames, we always trade using what? An organized top-down analysis. This means that we must start from the monthly time frame and take markets regressively from the monthly to the weekly to the daily to the 4 hours and then to the 1 hour time frame, where on the 1 hour time frame we now apply these our entry systems where we are buying at a discounted level. You would see that applying this particular discount is going to 10x your results. Okay, instead of you getting like 1-to-1 on this trade, you will see that it begins to increase. You start to get like 1-to-3 instead of it, or if the original entry was like 1-to-3, you begin to get like 1-to-6. Okay, so it 10x your results on the exact same opportunity without opening more positions and, you know, having to over risk, without, you know, compromising. You are not compromising anything at all, and you are getting a better result. Okay, so that is what brings about skill. Okay, so on gold, what is the first thing that we do? The first thing we do is to what? Is to identify on the monthly time frame the real-time point where price is at. Okay, this is the real-time point where price is at on the monthly time frame. And what is the next thing we do? We read the structures that took prices to that point. Okay, we want to know if overall price is on bearish structures or price on bullish structures. Okay, so we are just going to take it from the lowest point right here. All of these are flat structures, so they are not really relevant for us, but we'll take it from here, you know, where prices began to get some little energy. So here we can see prices make all of this small push and exhaustion here. Then price made a big structure here, push and exhaustion. Then price made a bigger one right here, push and exhaustion. So after this structure circle, what did prices do? Price started on smaller structure circles when price made push, exhaustion, then went ahead and made a bigger one right here when prices made push and exhaustion. After this structure, what did prices do? Price started smaller structure circles again, push and exhaustion. For those of you that don't understand structure circles, I have a full course of structure circles in my mentorship program. Link is in the description below so that you can join other students and start making profits in the market and being clearer and more perfect with your technical analysis. Okay, so on the monthly time frame, this is the last higher low on the monthly time frame. So what am I going to do? I'm going to identify the last higher low on my monthly time frame, because what I'm trying to do is that I'm trying to get a range of focus. All of these information that we are reading is a lot of information, so I'm trying to get a range of focus. So my range of focus is my most important window where I get my real-time trade entry opportunity. So as traders, our job from the monthly time frame is to keep bracketing prices into range of focus until we see a real-time trade entry opportunity. Okay, so now that we've understood one thing, that on gold is entirely bullish, okay, on the monthly time frame. The monthly time frame dictates the entire structure of prices. The monthly time frame is like the penthouse floor of, you know, an high-rising building. It allows us to see the entire city, the entire landscape and all. So the entire city on gold has shown us that price is bullish. This means that if I go onto the 1 hour time frame and I am selling, it means I am trading against the flow of the ocean. That means my sell will only be very short term. Okay, yes, I can make money trading retracements, but like I said, I'm swimming against the wave of the ocean. So I know that I'm supposed to exit in a faster time than, trading with the flow of the ocean. That is, if I'm buying, I'm trading with the flow of the ocean. Okay, so all of those defined, what are we going to do? We are now going to take this low here and take this high here and take this window as our range of focus. Okay, so I'll take the highest point of the chart here and the last higher low of the chart as what? As our range of focus. Okay, for some pairs, it might not be the highest point of the chart. For some pairs, it might be the most relevant high. But either or, we'll tag this level as monthly resistance, while we tag this level as monthly HL. HL basically means higher low, okay? And this window here is our range of focus. So taking that window to the weekly time frame, what is going on within this window on the weekly time frame? Remember, we'll keep bracketing prices into range of focus until we see a real-time trade entry opportunity. We've done that on the monthly already. Right now, we'll do it on the weekly again. From here, we saw price make push and exhaustion. Then prices continued by making push and exhaustion. Then price continued by making push and exhaustion. This higher low here is the last higher low of this structure circle. This means there is no exhaustion that ahead of it. There is bigger than this one. Okay, I've taught structure circles a lot in my course. Like I said, link is in the description below. So this is the last higher low of this particular structure circle. So what am I going to do? I'm going to take this last higher low right here. And this level now is now going to be what? My weekly HL. So this is going to be my weekly HL. My job is what? Bracket prices into range of focus until what? I see a real-time trade entry opportunity. So now I'll take this monthly resistance point and this weekly HL to what? To the daily time frame in order for me to look for an opportunity within that range of focus. Okay. So now taking it to the daily time frame, what is going on? Let's bring our target a little bit closer. This is the monthly resistance point and this is the weekly higher low points. Okay. So what is going on within this window, which is now our range of focus? Okay, so from here, from the lowest point here, we saw prices make push and exhaustion. Then all of these small fractals, eventually prices established the bigger one, but either or, prices now went and established, the biggest one right here of this structure circle. So this now becomes what? The last higher low of that structure circle. Okay, so this is that, the last higher low of that structure circle. Then after that, we can tag this as the daily HL. But either or, after that, what is our new range of focus? Our new range of focus is within this monthly resistance to this daily HL, where we are going to look for a real-time trade entry opportunity. So within this window, what are we seeing? Which is now our range of focus, right? From here, we saw prices make what? A small structure here, push exhaustion. Then price now made a bigger one, push exhaustion here. Then prices pushed to this monthly resistance, and there was a break of structure. Okay, so a break of structure has happened within this structure circle. However, we know that on gold, if we are selling, it is a retracement. So what are we going to do? We will now bring out our Fibonacci from the lowest point of the broken structure circle right here and tag it to the highest point of the broken structure circle right here. And what are we going to see? We are going to see that price is rejected at the 61.8. Okay, it's important to note that that 61.8 is what? Is a retracement number. Okay, for the Fibonacci is a retracement and an extension tool. 61.8 ends a retracement, while the 1 or the 100.0 Fibonacci level ends what? An opportunity in an extension. An extension basically means an opportunity in the direction of trend. Okay, so now that that has been defined, let's just go through the structures again. From here, from the lowest point right here, we said we saw prices start from what? A small structure here, push and exhaustion, then eventually made a bigger one here, push and exhaustion, then push to this monthly resistance properly. Then there was a break of structure, but this break of structure seemed to have ended at the 61.8, which means if I see an opportunity, I'm buying what? In the direction of trend. One thing I'm just going to identify in this level here is that this level here is a 61.8 PRA. What is a PRA? A PRA means what? A potential reversal area. These are levels on the chart that prices get to and may not be able to go beyond. So right now, what am I going to do? I'm now going to take out my opportunity from this monthly resistance to this 61.8 PRA to look for what? A trade entry opportunity. So now I'll take it to the 4 hours time frame. Okay, so let's bring our target a bit closer for the monthly resistance and this 61.8 PRA. Okay, so what are the structures? From here, the structures are pushed to this level, then prices made an exhaustion. Okay, then this becomes what? The last lower high within the confines of that particular of that particular structure circle. So let me just take the monthly tag a little bit up. That is the monthly resistance pinpoint. Okay, so this now becomes what? The last lower high of this what? Of this structure circle. This means that what? This means that there is no exhaustion below it that shares equal or more length in terms of pips. Okay, for example, if we see price make push exhaustion, then we now see prices make push exhaustion, push exhaustion, push. There's a break of structure. The break of structure, this is a take profit. So far it's in the direction of trend. Okay, it has no business with this, with anything above this resistance, because the break of structure is of what? It's of a small structure circle. So that's how structure circles work. Okay, a break of a small structure circle does not affect a big structure circle. So here, this is what? Push and exhaustion. This is a different structure circle. So now our job is to look for an opportunity within what we now be tagged as what? As a CSC. That's our current structure circle. That is what? The opportunities from here to here. That's where we look for our real-time trade entry opportunity. So now we'll now take it to 1 hour time frame, which we know that the 1 hour time frame is our entry time frame. Now it is on this 1 hour time frame that we would now what? Employ that our entry system. Okay, so on the 1 hour time frame, there are also different structure circles here. From here, we saw prices make all of this push exhaustion, all of this movement push and exhaustion, then all of this movement here push to this level. This is an exhaustion. So this is a different structure circle. Okay, from the break of this particular, because there was a break of structure here, push exhaustion, push, sat down on the 61.8 PRA, then there was a break of structure here. But the break of structure was of small structure circle. So what was my opportunity as at that point? My opportunity, first of all, will be to what? Bring the resistance point here of this particular structure circle and read the structures within the broken structure circle here. Okay, so what were the broken structure circle? From here, we can see prices make what? Push exhaustion to this level, then push and exhaustion to this level, push to the 61.8, then there was a break of structure. This was the last lower high. This was where it got broken. But we will not enter pinpoint. Instead, we will do what? We will apply our entry variation. Okay, that's our perfect entry setup. We know that what? With this break of structure, within this structure circle, all these levels here, all these zones here, our take profit. But price did not get there. Instead, prices just got to the top here. And what the prices do, it came back to offer us that our entry opportunity. So what do? We'll bring out our Fibonacci from the low. We'll take it from the low here to the high point here. And what are we going to do? We'll strike in our entry at the 61.8. So 61.8 here becomes our entry. Okay, you cannot compare our entry here to those that entered at pinpoint break of structure here. Okay, our entry is still a discounted entry. For those that entered at the pinpoint break of structure, this would be where your entry would be at, at the close of this candlestick. For us that entered at the discount, our entry would be at the 61.8 pinpoint right here. This is where our entry would be at. So we are buying at discount while you are buying at premium. Okay, while for all of us, our stop loss remains at this level, while our take profit within this structure circle remains at this level. Okay, so you can see that what for others that are entering here, you are buying a little bit more expensive, while us that are buying here, we are buying a little bit cheaper in comparison. Okay, so for example, if we want to check the risk to reward for us that are buying here, our stop loss would be at this level here, and our take profit would be here for 1:2.3. While for you that are buying, at premium, which is at the close of the candlestick somewhere around here, and your stop loss is somewhere around here, while your take profit is here, you are getting about 1:1, while we are getting about 1:2 plus on the exact same trade. But just understanding this system gives us what? A better risk to reward. Okay, there was also another opportunity right here to express it again, as at that point prices, there was a PRA here. Okay, so this level here was a PRA. So here was a PRA. Like we said, a PRA is a potential reversal area. So these are levels on the chart that prices get to and may not be able to go beyond. And as at that time, this point right here was the high point. I'll make it pinpoint. This point was the high point here. So our opportunity was within this window here, from here to here. That was our opportunity. So what did we do? We now decided to read the structures. Okay, but instead of entering pinpoint, we applied what? Our better entry entry variation, okay, that gives us that perfect entry. So this was push, exhaustion, push to this PRA, right? And there was a break of structure. So when the break of structure happened, we know that direction of trend is our take profit, highest point of the broken structure circle. However, instead of entering pinpoint at the break of structure, what did we do? We waited for that discount, okay? And this discount offered us our opportunity to take profit, okay? So for example, let's see for those of you that would have entered pinpoint at the break of structure, maybe your entry, your clearest entry, if you had wanted to enter, would have been somewhere around here at max. Maybe this would have been your clearest entry with your stop loss here. Maybe you'd have entered on the close of this candlestick here. Then your take profit would have been here for like 1 to 1.5 risk to reward, right? But for us that understand these discounts, we are able to buy at this discount level. And for us, we're able to get even as much as 1 to 4 by just having patience. Okay, so you can see how 1 to 1 is now about 1 to 4 risk to reward. Okay, so by just having enough patience and allowing prices to come back to 61.8 to give us that discount. Okay, so remember your 61.8, your Fibonacci will come from the low point here to the highest point of the broken structure circle, to the highest point of the rejection. So this is your 61.8 zone. If you want, you can buy pinpoint at 61.8, hide your stop loss at the low, still you will get like 1 to 3, either or. So just by waiting for the discount, you'll get either 1 to 3 or 1 to 4 in comparison to buying at the exact break of structure where you'll be getting about maybe 1 to 1 or 1 to 2 at max. So this allows us to be able to, and it goes bigger. For bigger opportunities, it gets bigger. For bigger opportunities, it gets bigger. It can change 1 to 2 to 1 to 7. It just depends. For bigger opportunities, it can get really bigger and offer us a better trade entry, system. So if you want to learn more on this and more on every single thing we do on price action trading, join the mentorship program. Link is in the description below. And I'm looking forward to mentoring you guys and taking all of you into profitability. See you guys in the next teaching.